3 days before my wedding, I discovered that my fiancé was unfaithful. My best friend Tina meticulously finalized her overseas work and returned early specifically to attend my wedding. I phoned my fiancé Jason to inform him that Tina was returning today and I wished to host a welcome dinner for her. He replied he was occupied, suggesting I take her out and that he would reserve a restaurant. I consulted Tina, who declined, stating she didn't want me to exhaust myself over her welcome dinner and proposed we simply visit a familiar Western restaurant. After all, having grown up together, I found it insignificant. Our families being long-standing friends, the dining location mattered less than having a good conversation. After picking up Tina, we headed directly to the French restaurant Jason and I frequented. Just as we settled into our private room, I noticed a man in the diagonally opposite room. It was Jason. Moments earlier, he texted me to eat more, yet the next instant, he was feeding steak to a visibly pregnant woman in an unmistakably intimate manner. I felt as though struck by lightning, utterly stunned. Jason and I were university classmates and began dating during those years. My family disapproved due to his modest background, believing he was unworthy of me, a wealthy heiress, but I valued his ambition and kindness toward me. In prominent families like ours, marriages are typically arranged. My parents selected Leon, Jason's arch-rival, as my intended spouse, though he was ostensibly my adversary too. I reasoned that if I could choose whom I loved, why not defy this tradition of arranged marriages? It was my perseverance that elevated Jason to his current standing. Post-graduation, we both worked at my family's company, where he treated me like a cherished treasure. I never imagined facing this situation. Doubting my own eyes, I sent Jason a trembling message, "Would you like to join us for dinner?" After sending it, I fixated on his phone. As he cut steak for the woman, he paused at the notification sound, set down his utensils, and swiftly replied, my phone soon buzzing with a terse meeting. My heart plummeted as I photographed them, frantically searching my memory for any signs of Jason's infidelity. Tina, noticing my stare, followed my gaze. She covered her mouth in shock, then furiously exclaimed after a pause, "Oh my God! Isn't that your Jason? Didn't you say he was working late?" Realizing the situation, she fell silent, stood up, and moved toward Jason, muttering, "I'm going to deal with this scumbag and his mistress today." I quickly restrained Tina, who stared at me incredulously, saying, "Zoe, don't tell me you're going to swallow this quietly? How could I endure it?" "I'm not one to suffer in silence," I said. "Don't be rash. What if it's a misunderstanding? Let's go together and clarify first," though each of the dozen steps felt oppressively heavy. Tina stormed into their room, tapped Jason, and spoke first. "Long time no see, Jason, huh?" The moment Jason looked up and saw me, panic flashed in his eyes, but I remained silent, awaiting his explanation. The pregnant woman rose first, asking Jason, "Jason, are they your friends or colleagues?" When Jason didn't respond, she seemed surprised, assessed Tina and me, then extended her hand, saying, "Hello, I'm Jason's wife, pleased to meet you." Her poised demeanor revealed she, like me, was deceived, piercing my heart with sharp pain. I promptly shook her hand, saying, "Hi, I'm Zoe, originally Jason's fiancé-to-be, but soon his ex. Your pregnancy looks about 6 months. Congratulations," leaving her staring at me in disbelief. Jason hurriedly stood, protesting, "No, Zoe, let me explain, it's not what it seems," attempting to reach me but blocked by Tina. I withdrew my hand from hers and gazed coldly at Jason. "Congratulations, ex-fiancé. Inform both families the wedding is off, and don't come to Zhao Corporation tomorrow. You're fired." With that, I pulled Tina to leave, but she wouldn't let it rest, slapping Jason twice and snarling, "Jason, I've distrusted you since day one with your shabby look. I knew you were trouble, and you've certainly proven me right. Tina, for Zoe's sake as your best friend, I'll overlook those slaps, but this is between Zoe and me. Stay out of it," Jason retorted, eyes red with fury. Tina rolled up her sleeves, poised to fight, not holding it against me. Go ahead, let's see if I even flinch. As she prepared to strike again, I held her back, with onlookers gathering. If this spread online, my identity would be exposed, likely crashing. Zhao Corporation's stock. Losing a man was trivial, but the company sustains thousands. I approached Jason and slapped him, saying, Jason, please vanish from my life henceforth, let's pretend we never met. The pregnant woman rushed forward, clutching Jason. What's going on? He shook her off, grabbing me. Zoe, listen, it's not what you think. She trapped me. You're the only one in my heart, believe me. Repulsed, I tried to free myself when a familiar voice intervened. Jason, remove your filthy hands. Leon entered, originally here to meet Huada Company's CEO, only to find me struggling with Jason. Seeing him inexplicably bolstered my resolve, and I forcefully broke free. Leon, Tina, Ryan, absent, and I are the sole heirs of City A's 4 prominent families, raised together. Jason's dislike for Leon distanced us since I began dating Jason. Leon, this is a matter between my future wife and me. Stay out of it, Jason asserted, still viewing our marriage as his triumph over Leon. I laughed. Jason, don't flatter yourself. Wasn't that your wife you pushed away? With a child due soon, are you aiming for bigamy? I left him no chance to reply, exiting with Tina. Jason tried to follow, but Leon blocked him. As I passed Leon, a glance sufficed. Despite our rift over Jason, our childhood bond allowed unspoken understanding. Zoe, wait, let me explain, Jason persisted. Leon, long resentful of him, would have ousted him from City A but for my sake. Leon struck Jason's face hard, unprepared. Jason stumbled back, blood trickling from his mouth. Leon, this concerns Zoe and me, not an outsider like you, Jason said, lunging at him, but Leon, a trained fighter unbeatable by most, needed no concern. Leaving with Tina, I texted him, thanks. Fearing my distress, Tina took me to the Royal Club, a high-end venue under her family's Wong Corporation. Truthfully, I felt uneasy after loving a man for 6 years. After several drinks, my mother Grace called. Hello, Mommy, frowning slightly, why so much drinking? The wedding dress arrived, won't you check it? Janie delivered it personally. Hearing me, Mom knew I was drunk. Truly a mother's intuition. Mommy, tell the relatives the wedding's cancelled. Zoe, how old are you? I'll assume you're drunk. Talk when you're back, Grace said, annoyed. As marriage isn't a game, sipping more, I replied, Mommy, I'm not drunk or joking. This wedding can't happen. What's wrong? Did something happen to Jason's family? Grace asked urgently. I laughed. Mommy guessed it. Yes, something happened. Jason, got hit by a car and died. So the wedding's off, then hung up. Tina, I cooed, hugging her, aware of my drunkenness. I heard your club's male models all have 8-pack abs. Call some over for me to feel? To cheer me, Tina summoned over 20, including Leon among them. Several models intended to sit beside me, but Leon's glare sent them away. He sat next to me, and in my haze, he seemed familiar. Handsome, why do you resemble someone? I mused, then shook my head. No way could Leon be a model. Ignoring it, I reached for his abs, but he grabbed my hand. Annoyed, I said, why hold me? Oh, money, right? With a knowing look, I reached for my bag, smiling. Wait, I'll get it. Seeing me degrade myself, Leon said gravely, Zoe, can't you live without Jason? Do you love him that much? At Jason's name, I snapped, don't mention that scumbag. He's dead. Bring him up again, and no money. Leon's anger subsided. Fine, no scumbag. What do you want to do? I'll join you. Seeing a man beside Tina, I said, hey, you look familiar too. Come let me feel. Wondering if all models here mimicked Leon and Ryan. Hearing me, Leon hoisted me over his shoulder. I protested, hey, what are you doing? Put me down, I'll vomit, struggling fiercely. Leon said, Tina's yours, and carried me off. Uncomfortable, I warned, put me down, or I'll get mad. Ignoring me, Leon spanked me twice, saying, behave. You dare hit me? I thrashed, hitting his back, ruining his tailored suit jacket, unwilling to lose out. He carried me to a penthouse suite, tossed me on the bed, removed his damaged jacket, and said, Zoe, look at your madness, with a disappointed look, starting to leave until I grabbed him. Surprised, Leon stumbled as I pulled, and we fell, him pinning me. The intimate position prompted him to rise quickly. I wrapped my arms around his neck, kissed his Adam's apple. Instantly, Leon reacted like lightning. Zoe, see clearly, I'm Leon, he rasped, seeing a face like his, lips moving. I kissed him sweet, with a hint of nicotine. Stunned briefly by my action, Leon's withdrawing hand slid into my hair, pulling me closer, the air ignited, intimacy enveloping us. Alcohol clouded my mind like fog, driving me instinctively to Leon for solace to fill an inner void. Leon's breathing quickened, his erratic breath on my face, his kiss landed on my lips, tender like a meteor streaking across a still lake, rippling softly. Each touch, feather-light, drew a soft hum from me, snapping a deep chord within Leon. In this surreal night, fate's vortex engulfed us, emotions and desires intertwining, releasing past pains like thorns in a dreamlike catharsis. After an unknown time, I fell asleep in Leon's arms like a weary bird. Leon gazed at my peaceful sleeping face, brows furrowed, eyes flickering with complex emotions, regret and confusion. He gently brushed my bangs, the blood stain on the sheet scattering his thoughts. Never imagining I was still a virgin, he held me and slept sweetly. Morning sunlight filtered through the curtains, lazy and gentle. I opened my eyes to a hangover headache, but the sight jolted me awake, my heart pounding. Leon slept beside me, his features striking in the dawn, yet panic overwhelmed me. Last night's blurry fragments flooded back, my cheeks burning with shame. How could I be with him? I cautiously shifted, avoiding waking him, reaching for clothes strewn by the bed, each move delicate as if committing a thrilling theft. As I grasped the clothes, a strong hand seized my wrist. Startled, I saw Leon awake, eyes sleepy yet filled with an indecipherable complexity. Where are you going? He asked hoarsely, morning laziness in his tone like thunder to me. I need to leave, I murmured, avoiding his gaze, feeling like a guilty child desperate to flee. Leon didn't release me, sitting up, his stare piercing as if to see through me. Do you think last night can just be ignored? His tone serious. Seeing him bare, I covered my eyes. Last night, it was an accident, we were drunk, offering a feeble excuse that felt powerless. Leon scoffed, accident? Zoe, you think it's that simple? You sleep with someone, you take responsibility. Hearing this, I uncovered my eyes. Big brother, you're not at a loss my first time. My first too. Let's talk. Leon pulled me onto his lap. I knew escape was impossible. We had to face this sudden, awkward reality. What do we talk about? I quavered, avoiding his gaze. After a pause, Leon said slowly, our feelings, what's next? His eyes expectant, awaiting my reply. Stunned, I wondered about my feelings for Leon. Once childhood playmates, we drifted apart due to Jason, and now, after all this, my emotions grew more intricate. I don't know what I feel for you, I answered honestly. Leon smiled faintly, a trace of bitterness in it. It's fine, we can figure it out slowly. You were drunk last night, likely forgetting now sober. Let's repeat it, and you'll know how to face it. His words rippling through my heart like a stone in a lake. Wide-eyed, I couldn't believe his words. What are you saying? My voice shook, heart racing. Before I could ask more, he kissed me. Leon's eyes burned with desire, mixed with complex emotions, piercing my soul. My hands roamed his back, leaving unspoken marks. Afterward, he carried me to the bathroom, my face flushed, avoiding his gaze. Seeing my shyness, Leon said, "No need to cancel the wedding, just change the groom. Get your household registry later, we'll get married at the bureau," his eyes reflecting me, brimming with love. Still hurt by Jason, I couldn't accept Leon so soon. "I don't need responsibility, nor do you have to do this." I knew Leon aimed to spare me embarrassment. With elite guests, canceling abruptly would ruin my marriage prospects in this circle. "But I need you to take responsibility." "What, use me and leave?" "Not happening," Leon teased. Seeing his carefree demeanor, I smiled. "Sure you want to marry me? I mean, take me as your wife?" "Certain, Miss Zoe, get ready, we'll register before the bureau closes at noon." Avoiding complications, Leon drawled playfully. Leon called his assistant, who soon delivered clothes, including underwear. Prepared, we went to the bureau, me calling my assistant for my registry, while Leon's already had his. Leon led me into the bureau. After the process, I stared at the red marriage certificate. Had I just married myself off? Unbelievable. Holding my hand, Leon drove to my parents. Still dazed, I heard him call, "Dad, Mom," but they didn't respond. Watching his assistant and our staff unload gifts from the car, I realized I'd been tricked. Mom pulled me aside, spotting hickeys, whispering, "Zoe, what's with you and Leon? Together?" I handed her the certificate. "We just registered. He says the wedding proceeds with a new groom." Dad approached. Seeing the certificate, Leon called me Dad. "What's this?" "As you see, we're together, married, nothing to hide now," I said. "And Jason?" Mom asked, worried, knowing my fondness for him. "Probably with his wife at a checkup," I said blankly. They exchanged looks, Dad asking, "You mean Jason's married with a child?" "I don't know about marriage, but there's a child." Leon's prepared talk to him. "I'll rest." Exhausted by Leon, I slept. Waking at night, he wasn't there, so I washed up and went downstairs. Leon sat in our living room with two others, chatting merrily. I joined him. "Uncle, Auntie, hello, when did you arrive? Why wasn't I called?" Leon's mom, motherly, pulled me beside her. "Still calling me Auntie? Change that. Leon said you were tired last night, so we didn't wake you." My face flushing as I glared at him. Seeing my red face, she apologized. "Sorry, Zoe, I'm blunt, don't take it to heart," then handed me a black card. "This is just for you, my dear daughter." She'd always liked me, wanting me as her daughter-in-law since childhood. Sincerely, glancing at Leon, he nodded, so I accepted the card. "Zoe, though hasty, Dad won't let your marriage be sloppy, rest assured." "Here, this is from me," Leon's father said. Uncle Lou handed me a contract, 15% of Lou Corporation's shares. Its weight in my hands felt like a stone on my chest, breathless. Seeing my teary eyes, Leon rushed over. "What's wrong? Unwell?" Both parents watched anxiously, knowing I rarely cried, disliking grievances. I shook my head. "I'm fine, just touched." "This child," Dad remarked, resuming their chat. I said to Uncle Lou, "Thanks, Dad," then to Auntie and Mom. They replied, "Yes." After wedding plans, they left. "Why aren't you leaving?" I asked Leon, who ignored me. Going upstairs, irked, I followed. He entered my room, undressed, and lay on my bed. "Hey, Leon, too far, that's my bed." I stood, arms crossed. "You're mine, so isn't your bed too?" He smirked, pulling me onto him. "Right, wife?" His teasing reddened my cheeks. As he leaned to kiss me, Jason's voice rang outside. "Zoe, I know you're home, give me a chance to explain, you'll understand." Slapping my forehead, I forgot to tell security not to let him in. In this villa area, they knew of our wedding, or he wouldn't enter freely. I rose to have the housekeeper call security to remove him. Late disturbances weren't good. Thinking I'd meet Jason, Leon pulled me to the window. Still want to see him? No, I wanted the housekeeper to call, cut off by Leon's kiss. Below, Jason gaped at our silhouettes, passionately kissing in the lit room. Jason wondered, who's that man? Not Leon? He'd come last night, but my room stayed dark. Today, seeing lights, he was sure I was home. He tried barging in for answers, but our housekeeper, no pushover, knew of my marriage to Leon, disliking Jason, and now unrestrained. Hey, who's this fool barging in like a mad dog? Doesn't he know where he is? The housekeeper deliberately bumped Jason. I'm Jason, he said, expecting entry wrong. Ignoring him, the housekeeper called security. Quick, send more men, there's a mad dog biting at our gate. Hurry or it'll be trouble. Exaggerating, blocking the door. Fine, kicking me when I'm down? Tell me who's in Zoe's room. Jason demanded. Sorry, you've no right to know, it's irrelevant to a stranger. The housekeeper replied stoically, Leon and I hearing it all upstairs. What, feeling sorry? Leon rested on my shoulder, voice sullen. I smiled, just a mad dog, as the housekeeper said, jealous of that? This earned me a severe punishment, leaving me bedridden next day, untested wedding dress aside. I heard security tossed Jason out last night. Despite discomfort, I had the driver take me to Zhao Corporation to handle Jason's affairs. Learning I was at Zhao, Leon rushed over, staying to help remove all traces of Jason from my office. Jason caused a scene downstairs. Zhao's security beat him, and Leon, fearing further trouble, had him tied up. Details I learned later, to protect our wedding, he said. Though swapping grooms was rushed, with our families, it went smoothly. On the wedding day, I felt excited, the sun shining perfectly as if heaven blessed this unique event. Before the mirror in a splendid gown, I felt mixed emotions. Leon entered in a sharp suit, his gaze fiery, seeing only me. Wife, you're stunning today, he said, kissing my hand. Nervous? He asked, smiling, though his slight tremble revealed his own nerves. A little, I admitted, the wedding's sudden shift stark. I'd once envisioned this with another. Don't fear, I'm here. Leon hugged me gently, his warm, strong embrace calming me. We left for the ceremony, greeted by endless blessings from friends and family. I saw my parents' relieved smiles, Uncle and Auntie Lou's teary eyes, and Tina's playful yet warm look. Happiness filled me, Jason's shadows fading. At the altar, the pastor read the vows. Leon's eyes held love and resolve. I, Leon, take Zoe as my wife, in sickness and health, rich or poor, to be with her forever, his words resonating in my heart. My turn, I breathed deeply. I, Zoe, take Leon as my husband, once lost in love. From now I'll face all with you, cherishing our bond, guarding our home. Seeing Leon's eyes moisten, gripping my hands as if I'd vanish. As the dazzling ring slid onto my finger, it felt dreamlike, real yet a fairy tale. Amid applause and cheers, we kissed, time pausing, the world just us. Post-ceremony, a grand banquet followed. Leon and I mingled, receiving blessings. A commotion arose. Jason appeared, disheveled, eyes wild with resentment, glancing at Leon. I knew he was responsible. Zoe, how could you do this? After years together, you discard me for him? Jason shouted, shattering the festive mood. Leon stepped forward, shielding me. Jason, you've no right here. Your actions brought this. Stop harassing Zoe. I don't believe it. Zoe, you love me, right? He forced you, didn't he? Jason tried bypassing Leon. Stepping out, I faced Jason, once deeply loved, now utterly foreign and repulsive. Jason, we're over. You ruined us with your infidelity. That moment ended it. Your wife's nearing birth. No need for fake affection here. I'm happy now. Leave and don't disturb me. As Jason tried speaking, security dragged him out. The banquet resumed, but my feelings were mixed. Sensing my mood, Leon held my hand. don't let him ruin our day, I nodded, resting on his shoulder. After the banquet, we returned to our new home, warmly romantic with flowers everywhere. Leon lifted me onto the bed, eyes full of love and desire. "Wife, you're gorgeous tonight," kissing me as he leaned in. Jason lingered outside my family's villa, unable to enter, unaware of our new home, waiting there. The housekeeper later told me he stood outside all night, voice hoarse calling my name, losing me. How could he support his family, especially after offending Zhao, Lu, Wang, and Zhang families? Post-marriage, we should have been busy separately, but Leon clung to me at Zhao, citing fear of Jason's return as an excuse to stay. I knew he'd expelled Jason, who couldn't return, just a pretext I didn't expose. Even his assistant grew tired, until Uncle Lu summoned him away. One day, I received an email from the woman I thought was Jason's wife, apologizing. His childhood sweetheart, she loved him, but he used her for ambition, deceiving us all. Reading it, I sighed, pitying her and mocking my past judgment. Time to boldly bid scumbags goodbye. I told Leon about the email. He hugged me. "It's over now, you have me, we'll be fine," I nodded, feeling his warmth. Days passed, and I found I was pregnant, telling Leon. He spun me around like a giddy child. "We're having a baby," his eyes teary with joy. On a business trip, a minor accident sent Leon rushing me to a local hospital, where we unexpectedly met Jason, that woman, and his mother. She was likely in labor, pleading on her knees for a C-section. Her genuine pain reminded me childbirth isn't easy. Seeing my hesitation, Leon called the hospital dean, offering to pay for her C-section. We stayed back. After my checkup, the doctor advised rest. Later, the dean called Leon. Her C-section birthed a girl, but her in-laws and husband left her alone there. On speaker, I heard it all. She reaped what she sowed. I felt no pity, as she chose Jason knowing his nature. But the child was innocent, so I had the dean get her account, sent money for her and the baby's care, and hired a nanny for her. Days later, another email arrived, a photo of the smiling baby with a thank you below. I smiled contentedly, rubbing my belly, a good deed for my baby's sake. At a class reunion later, I heard Jason caught a near 60 rich woman's eye in City C, serving her daily. Leon and I exchanged a glance, leaving the reunion with our little one in our arms.